Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal transfer show. What is going to be the last Arsenal transfer show in this iteration of 2023, because tomorrow, with it being the end of the transfer window, of course, yesterday, the Arsenal news show will be returning tomorrow. So although we'll still be live 8 a.m., nothing's changing in regards to that. The colours, the backgrounds, the thumbnails, will all be the inverted colours instead. We know we love inversion at Arsenal, so you'll have your white Arsenal news kind of thumbnails and stuff. The white, red, and gold will be slightly different. But yes, it's been, thank you for joining us on this journey the last 3-4 months. What we do this, we start this the month before. So May, June, July, August, 4 months worth of 8 a.m. shows. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in across the summer, and I hope that you'll continue to tune in at the 8 a.m. time as we go through the course of this season toward the January transfer window. The Arsenal transfer show will then return in December, a month before the January window opens. Is how we run these. But yeah, thank you to everybody that's done. I hope that you've appreciated all the hard work that goes into putting on these shows every single morning. And as I say, it's not going anywhere. We're carrying on doing that. But I've got to be quick this morning because, as you can tell, I'm dressed in a certain way, which will probably give you a little bit of an indication about what my morning is consisting of. So we've got a quick one to do this morning and round up everything that happened yesterday. Right. Good morning to those joining us live in the chat box. Good morning to Maximius, to Black Shine. Good morning to Jose, Ronald. Good morning to Penny Ween, to Louis, Julian. Good morning to SJ Chan, Matt G. Who else have we got? Arasilki. We've got Scott, Andy. Who else? Barry in the chat box. Temi. Thank you to everybody. Really appreciate you tuning in. It's very much appreciated. And Scott with a couple of nice super stickers in the chat box as well. Very kind of you indeed. Right. Let's jump into those stories. First of all, if you're not happy with just about 15 or so minutes of insight this morning, go back and watch our Let's Talk Arsenal show from last night that we did of why Arsenal have not signed anyone. We also did an Arsenal transfer show, phone-in or call-in show yesterday, so make sure you tune in for that. We had a good laugh at some of the funnier points of the window, and we had a good laugh at the people that put things like this into chat boxes. Arteta out. So, yeah, make sure that you're not getting involved with that kind of chaotic mess. Arsenal's end of the season had 4 recruits in it as well. Of course, Declan Rice, David Raya, Kai Havertz, and Jurrien Timber all joining the club. It's 2 off what I wanted to see. I wanted to see another defender after Timber got injured. I wanted to see another forward. And of course, to be honest, it was only really 1 more. But Timber's injury, of course, changed that, which was really disappointing, sadly. And certainly, I was hoping that Arsenal might react to it. There's good reasons why they didn't, and we talked about that at length in yesterday's show. So as I say, please do indeed tune into that one to find out your explanations as to why Arsenal end up signing only the 4 players in the summer. Despite that, and despite our frustrations around how many players we were able to not get out of the club, we still managed to move on a massive 13 players from the team in the end, which is kind of mad. In terms of permanent deals, Balogun joined Monaco, Xhaka joined by Leverkusen, Matt Turner joined Nottingham Forest, Austin Trusty joined Sheffield United, Pablo Murray joined Monza, Rob Holding went to Crystal Palace, Ainsley Maitland-Niles left for free to Lyon. We had a few loan transfers as well. Kieran Tierney's gone to Real Sociedad. We've had Nuno Tavares go to Nottingham Forest with Matt Turner, of course. Marquinhos has gone to Nantes for the season. Arthur Okonkwo has gone to Wrexham. I reported this yesterday, but there is no intention of Arsenal to extend that contract of Arthur Okonkwo. And he only has the 1 year left on his deal. So that is expected to see him come to an end of his Arsenal time at the end of this season. Unless he pulls off a very, very good season and Arsenal decides to renegotiate a new contract. But it's my understanding that they are not looking to renegotiate that contract. Albert Samuel Lokonga also left on loan on deadline day and has joined Luton for the course of this season. And we also had some benefits in terms of sell-on clauses. Matteo Guendouzi went to Lazio and we got a 10% sell-on benefit from him. Konstantinos Mavropanos joined West Ham from Stuttgart, and we got a sell-on benefit from him. Alex Iwobi left Everton and joined Fulham, and it's my understanding, and I reported this yesterday, that there was no sell-on clauses inserted into the deal that saw him join Everton, so Arsenal didn't make anything from that Alex Iwobi move from Everton to Fulham. Arsenal, I'm told, are very happy with the £35 million that they made back in 2019, so no sell-on there, but yes, very, very good indeed, I think, in regards to as many as we could move out on paper. The frustration is obviously that we weren't able to move out everybody that we had to move out to be able to bring in the players at the end of the window. Cedric and Pepe still at the club, still very much a part of the team at the moment, the squad, but there is expectations that both of them could leave before the closure of the both Saudi and Turkish transfer windows. So either of them could leave. There's also a period of time where I think free agents can be signed up still. So that's worth pointing out. So we could see the termination of their contracts, and then they might end up moving elsewhere also. So they ended up not moving on from the club, which is, a little bit of a frustration, I think, especially for Arsenal, that we weren't able to move on the players that we needed to move on. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see if there's any further movement. We also had a lot of Arsenal youngsters leave the club as well this season. Matt Smith, Tom Smith, and Joel Idaho and Zach all left on free transfers. Nikolai Moller, Ben Cottrell, and Mazido Gungbo left for small fees. They went to St. Gallen, NS Mura, and Barrow, respectively. And we had quite a lot of loan transfers as well. Charlie Patino went to Swansea on loan. Brooke Norton-Cuffey's gone to Millwall. Tyrese John-Jules has gone to Derby. Salah Adinu Ledham-Hand has gone to FC Den Bosch. Omar Rekic yesterday left for Wigan. Mika Bireth has gone to Motherwell. Sadly, is already injured there. Katalin Kurjan has gone back to Romania and has gone on loan to FC Rapid 1923. I think it's a Romanian side. It is indeed. Nathan Butler Oyadeji has gone to Cheltenham on loan in League One for the rest of the season. Hubert Grashik, the goalkeeper, has gone to Slough for the season. Billy Vigar, who spent time with Derby's under-21s last season, has gone to Eastbourne. Henry Jeffcott has gone to Derby's under-21s for this season. Mauro Bandeira, exciting young Portuguese player, has been on our Europa League squad a few times. He has also left the club for Colchester United. And George Lewis, the Norwegian 23-year-old winger, left as a free agent and is still yet to find a club at the moment, as far as we're aware. So that's all of Arsenal's business, just to kind of round it all off. And Mikel Arteta faced the press yesterday, talked about the fact that he wasn't expecting anybody to come in, which wasn't surprising in any way, shape or form. There's a really good, if you want to watch the full thing, the Arsenal Way, I believe, have the clips that you can watch it. There was an embargoed section which went live at 10:30 p.m. last night that you probably want to catch up on if you've not yet read through the transcript of that. He talks about Pepe in that press conference. He talks about how that they're trying to still find a solution for him. He talks a lot about Kai Havertz and kind of the fact we need to give him time. And he talks about the 40-odd plus formations that we've used this season as well. And really kind of, it looked like he got quite, not agitated is probably the wrong word, but he got very defensive around that side of the formations and things like that. So let's wait and see if we see 67 formations in the game against Man United on Sunday. Right, we're going to go to your questions in part two for a very quick part two right after this. Okay, let's jump into the chat box, shall we, and try and tackle as many questions in the space of about 8 minutes as we can. Let's see if we can do this as fast and as feasibly as possible. Penny Ween says, I personally had a very good window across the club, but I'm being told that I'm naive and dumb. Isn't it okay to just be happy and enjoy the ride rather than worrying about things that are out of my control? Don't let people tell you that you're naive and dumb. Just block them and move on. It's not worth being abused, Penny Ween, online. Just block them and move on. It's just not worth entertaining them, to be honest. I think when it comes to the way in which you personally or anybody interacts with the window or views the window, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, as long as you're being respectful and not being abusive towards anybody, of course. And I think that what people will feel is very mixed about the window. I'm mixed about the window. I'm very happy with Rice and Raya, and I'm still, the jury's very much out on Havertz. I think it's fair to say, and I was absolutely ecstatic with Timber, but obviously the loss of Timber has changed things dramatically, and these the lack of getting the deals done as quickly as feasibly possible has really affected things. I reported yesterday that Arsenal were very frustrated that Palace only materialised their interests on deadline day for holding, that Forest, it took until deadline day to get that deal for Nuno Tavares done, that they were only able to move out Sambi Lokonga on deadline day. There's frustration that, the deals that were done on deadline day and the deals that weren't done in the form of Cedric and Pepe, those unfortunately have stopped us from sadly moving another player in. And certainly for those that think that Arteta decided not to sign someone, or that Edu decided not to sign somebody and it's their decision to leave us short, I can tell you factually that's not the case. That they would certainly, if they've been able to move the players out quick enough, been able to have brought somebody else in, but we couldn't. It's to do with space, it's to do with financial fair play. All of these things come in. Yes, I think there were players that moved on loan. Bella Kotchap joined PSV, and at the time I saw that loan move and I was quite frustrated to see that loan, because I thought, maybe that's one that we could have done. But people do fairly point out that he's going to play at PSV. He's going to get regular game time. Why would he join Arsenal on loan and not play? It doesn't help out Southampton. So there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we're not privy to. I'll try and find out as much as I feasibly can. But yeah, that is the situation. So we can all batter Arsenal and be frustrated at them leaving us short again, but sadly that is the hand that we are dealt. It's not a case of sacking Edu and bringing someone else in who could do a better job. That is the hand that we were dealt. We aren't able to sell players that there aren't interest in for, or that there are obstacles created by the players themselves, Pepe in particular. I've heard rumours suggesting that offers have been made, but he's turned plenty of them down, that he wasn't able to be moved on quick enough. So it's frustrating, but it's what we are now dealing with until January. It's also worth pointing out that we still have 26 senior members of the squad. So remember, we can only register 25 of those for the season. Of course, Urian Timber will not be one of those players, I imagine, that is registered, because his injury will keep him out until the long term. So I'd be surprised if Timber, unless he's already been registered and had to be registered for him to play at the start of the season, but I'll be surprised if that, I don't know if that helps us in any way, shape or form. I'm not sure how that really works out that way. But Pepe and Cedric at the moment will be looked at as, they will train, they'll be part of the squad until a solution is found for those players. Rancy said, how much did we end up making on sales? Which is a completely fair question to ask. In terms of sales, Arsenal, I'm going to have to do some quick maths for you in my head to the best of my understanding of what we made for those players. Let's have a quick look, shall we? So outgoings, transfers, current season's transfers. I would recommend not using transfer marks because they don't have the right valuations for players on there. They've got Balogun down as 30 million. They've got Xhaka down as 15 million. These aren't right valuations for what Arsenal made. So Arsenal, including add-ons for players, Balogun was 34.4. Xhaka was 21.5. Matt Turner was 10. Austin Trusty was 5. Pablo Maria was about 4. Kieran Tierney, we got a 1.5 million or £2 million loan fee, around 1.5 to £2 million loan fee with him. Rob Holding, I've heard really mixed reports around Rob Holding. I got told from someone inside Arsenal that it was 4 million, in the region of 4 million with no add-ons. But then I've seen David Ornstein has reported this morning that it's 1 with 2.5 million in add-ons. So I genuinely don't know, because the person I know that told me the information about the Rob Holding in the region of 4 million with no add-ons is the person that, gives me plenty of information about Arsenal. So I don't really know if that was just ended up changing at the last minute, or there were some last minute changes and David Ornstein's now got that last minute change. I got that information fairly late last night, around 8 o'clock. So it might be that there's some discrepancies around the Rob Holding price. It's not to say that David isn't right. He's very, very well connected. So I would lean towards that. But I was baffled to see that report with the add-ons included, to be honest, because the information was from a very, very well-trusted source. The Nuno Tavares loan fee is around 1 million. And then there's an option to buy at around 15, I think is my understanding there, including add-ons. So I don't think there is much of a loan fee for Lokonga. I think it's like less than £1 million for that one. So we didn't break the 100 million. We obviously got some benefits from sell-on clause and stuff. We didn't end up breaking it. We got very close. I think we ended up getting very close to 90, maybe just over 90 with the sell-on clause benefits. But overall, sadly, didn't break the 100. But we did get close to it as well. Sharka says, how can West Ham get a better transfer window than Arsenal? Because teams are different contexts, mate, Sharky. They have to move on less players. They got a lot of money in for Declan Rice and brought players in. I personally wouldn't swap their transfer window. If you would, that's down to you. If you would swap Declan Rice for James Ward-Prowse, if you would swap Kai Havertz for Kudus, if you would swap Yuri and Timber for whichever defender they signed, it's up to you. But I personally don't think that West Ham had a better window than Arsenal at all. Ian says, one of the reasons our players, even the fringe ones, are not being sold for good money is because we have not won the league in 20 years. No Champions League trophy and maybe 2 to 3 times of proper challenging in 20 years. I don't think that's the reason, because there's plenty of teams that don't challenge for the league and get very good money for their players. So I don't think that's necessarily a massive factor, to be honest. I might be overlooking it, but I don't think that's a massive factor in my view. PW says, we need to keep Cedric. He's okay, but we're lacking in numbers at the back and we'll regret letting Kieran Tierney go. Arteta's refused to play and we'll come back to bite him. I don't really buy the Tierney criticism, to be honest. He wasn't using him. He was fifth choice when Timber was fit. He wanted to leave. He wanted to play. We say we'll regret letting him go, but he's the one that really pushed to move on. Yes, we didn't play maybe as much as we could have done, but I look at the game against Liverpool last season where Tomiyasu was absolutely pivotal in helping us to shut down Salah and Nunez as much as we could. Had some really good performances there. I think people are writing off Kivior way too quickly as a left back as well. We have 3 options in that position. With Timber, we had 4 and Tierney was 5th choice at that point. So you can understand why he wanted to move on. People say that, why are we not using our strongest team, and then pointing fingers at Arteta for not rotating enough. There is so much hypocrisy at the moment. There really, really is. And PW says they would have kept KT and Cedric. Well, Cedric's still here, but I don't know if he will be here for much longer or not. We'll have to wait and see. Vegas Gunner says add-ons are speculative. We undersold Balogun and Xhaka. Good window otherwise. Again, I always challenge people, and I'm still sitting here on the 2nd of September with no one able to come and tell me how they would have managed to get more money for Balogun. No one's given me a genuine way to get more money. So despite the fact that apparently we undersold Balogun, which is factually incorrect, no one's still been able to tell me why or what they would have done to get more money for Balogun. That is the situation. That's the maximum value we could have got for him in this window, because that's what the market dictated that we could get for Balogun during this window. And we really tried to get more, and we were patient to try and get more, but that didn't end up happening because the only offer we got was that Monaco one in the end, which is the situation. So if you think we undersold him, it's not Arsenal's fault. Sadly, it's just the way that the market is. Jabu says, we've got a unicorn player in Declan Rice. For me, that alone gives us about a 6 out of 10, plus another unicorn player in Timber that sadly got injured. For me, it's a 7 out of 10 window for me. I really think that there is lots to be said about, what we've done in this window. If Timber was fit, it would have been a 9. Goes down to a 7 without him, and we didn't bring in a defender to get it up to an 8. So I think a 7 is a fair value. Those thinking it's a 5 or less, I don't think there's a justification to say it's a 5 based upon the fact that we signed our priority targets in 2, arguably, well, definitely 3 with David Raya coming in, and arguably 4 depending on how you view the Kai Havertz situation, but he was a priority of Arteta's. We got 4 priority targets through the door. We beat clubs like Man City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid to players this summer, which we, have struggled to do in recent seasons. And yes, it's frustrating that we didn't get all the players in the end that we wanted, but I'm very happy with the business that we've done. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm happy with what we've done. And I think that's what's really, really important. That is going to bring us to the whistle stop tour end of today's show. I am going to take a very well-deserved rest today on deadline, after deadline day. Yesterday was mad. Started work at 6, finished at about 10 o'clock. Because I knew it wasn't going to go to 11 for Arsenal. But it's a shame. And that's where we're at. But I am looking forward to the season. I'm hoping that we can get a result against Manchester. Now, we may do a preview tonight. I'm not sure, but we may do a preview tonight. So just be well aware of that. If you disagree with anything I've said, please let me know in the comment section below with your explanations. If you think that we undersold Balogun, I'm still waiting for somebody to come up with a very good explanation as to what they would have asked the club to do differently and how they would have gone about themselves getting more money. So if you've got that solution, I'd love to hear it try to be explained to me, please. But thank you for listening, everybody. Have a fantastic Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Stay safe, stay well, stay relaxed. And as always, up the Arsenal.